All right, get ready, because today we're going to be diving deep into the top 7 money-making hacks for 2025 that are proven to work.
Catchy title.
It is, it is. And it's a YouTube video, by the way, from a channel called The Diary of a CEO.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. You shared this one with us, and it's got tons of advice on personal finance and investing, so we're going to try to break it all down. Before we really get into it, though, if you're liking these deep dives that we've been doing, do us a solid and, like, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. All right, so let's talk money. This video, it seems like it's really for people who are just starting out with investing.
Yeah, it kind of debunks that whole idea that you need to be rich to start investing,
Right.
which I think is a good message. It really stresses that starting early is the most important thing, no matter how much money you have.
Exactly. I love
Yeah.
that. It's so easy to feel intimidated by, investing, thinking it's just for, like, super filthy people.
Right.
But this video actually suggests a great starting point, especially for, us newbies. They call them target date funds.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I didn't really know much about them before watching this video.
Yeah, they're basically designed to make investing super simple, especially for beginners, right? Think of it like a preset plan for your retirement. It's tailored to your retirement year.
Okay.
So, for example, like if you're aiming to retire in, let's say, 2050,
Mm-hmm.
you'd choose a target date fund that has 2050 in the name.
Okay, that makes sense. That's really convenient. But what's actually, happening inside these funds? What are they made up of?
It's all about diversification. You know how they always say you should diversify your investments?
Right.
It's like, picture a pie chart. Okay.
Right.
Each slice of that pie is a different asset class, like stocks, bonds, real estate, whatever. The target date fund, what it does is it automatically adjusts this mix of investments as you get closer to retirement.
Oh, interesting.
So it gets more conservative over time.
So it's kind of like having a built-in financial advisor,
Exactly, yeah.
constantly making adjustments for you in the background.
Yeah. You don't have to think about it.
That does take the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
And speaking of, making things easier, the video really stresses the importance of automating your investments.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, which I'm all about. I mean, think about something like brushing your teeth. You just do it. You don't even think about it.
Exactly. It's a habit.
It's a habit. And just like, that daily habit keeps your teeth healthy, automating your investments, even if it's small amounts,
Right.
can really have a big impact on your financial health in the long run.
Totally. It all adds up. And that actually ties into another concept they talk about, dollar cost averaging.
Dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So basically, it means you're investing a fixed amount of money
Okay.
at regular intervals.
Okay.
And you do this regardless of what the market is doing.
So it doesn't matter if the market's up or down, you just
You just keep investing the same amount.
keep investing. Okay, so does that actually work better than, trying to time the market, buying low, selling high?
Right. Because trying to time the market it's pretty much impossible to do consistently.
That's what I've heard.
Most experts would agree with that. Dollar cost averaging kind of takes the emotion out of it.
Right.
You're not trying to guess when the market's going to go up or down. You're just consistently investing. So you end up buying more shares when prices are low and fewer when they're high. So it kind of averages out your cost over time.
That makes sense. It reminds me of that story about Ronald Reed, the janitor who ended up becoming a millionaire
Oh, yeah.
just by consistently investing small amounts over, like, decades.
It's amazing.
It's an incredible story. They actually mention him in the video, too.
Really?
Which I thought was, a good way to illustrate that point. You don't have to be like some financial genius to build wealth.
Right.
Just being patient and consistent can actually get you really far.
Yeah. Patience is key.
So the video, it doesn't stop at just like basic investing.
Oh, no. It goes deeper.
It jumps into some more advanced strategies. Specifically, it talks about this idea of leverage.
Leverage.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Basically, it's all about maximizing your output while minimizing your input, which, sounds pretty good to me.
It does sound appealing, but how does that work in practice?
Well, the video clarifies that it's not about, shortcuts or getting something for nothing.
Right.
It's more about strategically using the resources you have
Okay.
to amplify your efforts, to kind of multiply your results.
I see.
And they talk about different types of leverage. They mention labor leverage,
Okay.
media leverage, capital leverage, and technology leverage.
So those are like the 4 main categories.
Okay.
Can you give me some examples of how each one works, like in real life?
Sure. So let's start with labor leverage.
Mm.
Like imagine you hire a virtual assistant. to handle some of those tasks that are taking up your time
Okay. Yeah.
so you can focus on more important stuff.
Right. Free up your time.
Exactly. That's leveraging labor.
Okay.
Or for media leverage, think about building a big following on social media to promote your business or your brand.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's media leverage.
Makes sense.
For capital leverage, this could be something like, using a loan to invest in a rental property. So you're using debt to try to generate greater returns.
Okay. So using other people's money to your advantage.
Exactly. And then for technology leverage, it could be something as simple as using software to automate certain tasks
Right.
to boost your efficiency. So that's kind of like, the overview of the different types of leverage.
Makes sense.
Now, one type of leverage that really stood out to me, and I think this is especially relevant given my experience in the biotech industry,
Okay.
was deal structuring.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, the video dives into this and actually shares a personal story about how they structured a deal to receive stock options
Okay.
in a company's IPO in exchange for their marketing expertise.
Oh, wow. That's smart.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a really lucrative deal.
I bet.
But the takeaway here is that, deal-making skills aren't just for CEOs or investors.
Right.
They're actually valuable for everyone, no matter what industry you're in.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's all about understanding how to negotiate and how to structure agreements to get the best possible outcome.
Absolutely. Whether you're negotiating a salary, a freelance contract, or even, buying a car,
Right.
those skills can be super valuable.
Exactly. And it's not just about getting the best deal for yourself. It's also about being creative and finding ways to create win-win scenarios.
Yeah, that's important. So everyone benefits.
Exactly. All right, so we just went through a lot there. Target date funds, leverage. What else is in this video?
Well, it starts to get kind of interesting here. The CEO, he really wants people to, ditch that traditional 9-to-5 mentality.
Oh, yeah.
He says we should think of our skills and passions as potential income streams.
Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you actually figure out what those income streams could be?
He has this whiteboard exercise. It's really simple, but it makes sense. On one side of the board, you list all your skills,
Okay.
even hobbies, things you're passionate about, anything, really. And then on the other side, you brainstorm ways to monetize those skills.
I see. So like connecting your passions with actual ways to make money.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like a full-blown business idea right away. It's more about just opening your mind to the possibilities.
Yeah, that makes sense. I actually had a moment like that a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah. I was kind of messing around on social media, just for fun. And then I realized, hey, maybe I can actually use these skills to help businesses.
Oh, cool.
And that's how I got my first freelance gig.
That's awesome. So you basically turned your hobby into a side hustle.
Exactly.
Mm.
And it's been great. So this video is kind of giving me those vibes.
Yeah, I get it. And actually, the video goes back to that deal structuring thing we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, it's not just about buying a business.
Right. They made that point earlier. It's a valuable skill for, everyone.
Yeah. No matter what you're doing, knowing how to negotiate and structure agreements can be super helpful.
Mm-hmm. They even share another story about a time when they got stock options in a company's IPO.
Again?
Yeah, just by using their marketing skills.
Oh, that's impressive.
And, they encourage viewers to check out their book, Main Street Millionaire, and their website, contrarianthinking.com, if you want to learn more about deal making.
Oh, interesting. I might have to look into that.
Yeah, definitely add it to the list. So now, let's talk about the kind of less glamorous side of making money.
What's that?
Taxes.
Ah, yes. Taxes.
Can't forget about those.
They can be a bit of a headache, that's for sure.
Especially when things get more complicated with your finances. What does the video say about taxes?
Well, they really stress the importance of getting expert advice,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
like hiring a good accountant or tax advisor. It can make a huge difference, they say. You can make sure you're being as efficient as possible with your money.
Right, so you're not overpaying.
Exactly. And you're doing everything legally, of course.
Right, of course. So it's like having a guide to help you through the tax maze.
Totally. They actually use this interesting analogy. They compare the tax system to a prison.
A prison, okay.
And wealthy people, they say, are like prisoners of war.
Whoa, okay. I'm not sure I follow.
They say that these prisoners of war have a moral obligation to escape.
Escape the prison.
Yeah.
So they're saying we should try to, not pay taxes at all.
No. They're not saying that at all. It's more about understanding the system. and using it to your advantage legally, minimizing your tax burden without doing anything illegal.
Okay, that makes more sense. So what specific tax strategies do they suggest?
One of the big ones is borrowing against assets instead of selling them.
Oh, okay.
So, to avoid those capital gains taxes.
Right, right. Can you give me an example?
Yeah, so let's say you own some stock in, like, Amazon or something.
Yeah.
And it's doubled in value.
All right.
Now, if you sell it, you have to pay taxes on that profit.
Right, I see.
But if you borrow against the stock, you can access those gains without actually selling it.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're basically using the stock as collateral for a loan,
Exactly.
and that way you don't have to pay taxes on it until you actually sell it.
Exactly.
That's pretty smart.
Right. It's all about being strategic.
Are there any other strategies they talk about?
Yeah, they mentioned this thing called the Qualified Small Business Stock Exemption, or QSBS.
QSBS.
Yeah, that's
A mouthful.
it does sound complicated.
It is a bit complex, but basically it lets you exclude a big chunk of capital gains from taxes when you sell stock in qualifying small businesses.
Okay.
But there are certain conditions you have to meet, of course.
Right, there always are.
But it's definitely something to look into if you're investing in startups or small businesses. Yeah, it sounds like it could be really beneficial.
Yeah.
It just makes you realize how much you could be missing out on if you don't understand these strategies.
Right. That's why they emphasize getting expert advice.
Mm-hmm. So you can make sure you're taking advantage of everything that's available to you.
Exactly. Now, they do shift gears a bit towards the end of the video. They start talking about the bigger picture of wealth.
Okay, so it's not all about, like, tactics and strategies.
Right. They say it's important to remember that wealth is more than just money.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in the numbers and forget about, like, everything else.
Totally. They say building wealth shouldn't come at the expense of your happiness, your relationships, your overall well-being.
Mm-hmm. Finding that balance is important.
Yeah, it's about creating a life you actually enjoy,
Right.
not just a bank account full of money.
I love that they touch on that.
It's a good reminder. They also bring up this concept of a minority mindset.
A minority mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that?
Well, they say it's all about challenging conventional thinking, being willing to explore unconventional paths.
So not just following the crowd.
Exactly. Thinking for yourself and making your own decisions, even if they're not the most popular ones.
I like that. Taking the road less traveled.
Right. And finally, they warn against trying to look rich instead of actually building wealth.
Oh, that's a good one. Keeping up with the Joneses, as they say.
Exactly. It's a reminder to focus on substance over appearances.
Mm-hmm. Making choices that are aligned with your long-term goals.
Exactly. Not just trying to impress other people.
It's easy to fall into that trap, though. Sometimes I catch myself doing it.
Yeah, me too. It's a constant battle.
All right, so we've talked about target date funds, we've talked about leverage, we've talked about taxes, we've talked about mindset. What else? Is there anything else in this video that we need to cover?
Well, there is one more big topic they touch on.
Okay, hit me.
Cryptocurrency and blockchain technology.
Oh, yeah. Crypto. It feels like the Wild West out there sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's changing so fast it can be a little intimidating, even for people who are pretty tech savvy. But the video does a decent job of explaining the basics, starting with blockchain.
Okay, so what is blockchain exactly? I hear that word all the time, but I'm still not sure I totally understand it.
All right, imagine like a shared Google Doc. Okay.
Okay, I'm with
It's like a constantly updated ledger. Everyone can see it.
Okay.
And every transaction that happens is recorded as a new block that gets added to this chain of information.
I see. So it's like a chain of blocks, hence the name blockchain.
Exactly. But here's the key difference. No single person or company controls this ledger.
Okay.
It's all maintained and verified by a decentralized network of computers.
So it's like a giant public record-keeping system,
Yeah.
but without any central authority.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it. This decentralized system makes blockchain super transparent and secure.
Yeah.
Once a transaction is recorded, it's almost impossible to change it or tamper with it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they say in the video that blockchain isn't just about cryptocurrency, right?
Right. They say it has the potential to change all sorts of industries.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, they mentioned gaming, for example, where in-game assets could be like tokenized and traded outside the game.
Well, wait. So you're saying, like, if I earn a rare sword in a video game,
Right.
I could actually sell it for real money to someone else.
Yeah, something like that.
That's wild. It's like those lines between the virtual world and the real world are getting blurry.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But let's get back to cryptocurrency for a second.
Okay, yeah. That's kind of the elephant in the room, isn't it? What do they say about that?
Well, they focus mainly on Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay, those are the big ones.
Right.
Yeah.
They describe Bitcoin as like a scarce digital asset. There's only a limited supply, and they think that's what gives it value, like a potential store of wealth.
Okay.
But with Ethereum, they see it as more than just a cryptocurrency.
Oh.
Yeah. They say it's a platform for building decentralized applications and smart contracts, which they think could have a huge impact on a lot of different industries.
So they're pretty bullish on Ethereum.
Yeah, it sounds like it. They actually recommend holding Ethereum for the long term as a bet on the future of blockchain technology.
Interesting. Do they give any specific advice on, like, how to invest in cryptocurrency?
They mention some reputable platforms like Coinbase and Kraken.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
But they do say to be careful, right? Crypto can be pretty volatile.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're not saying it's a get-rich-quick scheme.
Right.
They stress the importance of doing your research and not investing more than you can afford to lose, which is good advice for any kind of investing.
Absolute.
They also talk about the importance of self-custody, using a hardware wallet to store your cryptocurrency offline, so you have full control over your digital assets.
That sounds pretty technical.
Yeah, it can be, but it's important to make sure your investments are secure. So yeah, the video definitely doesn't shy away from the risks of cryptocurrency, but it does present it as something that could be a part of a diversified investment portfolio.
Okay, so not necessarily a replacement for traditional investments, but something to consider adding to the mix.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything from this video. We started with those basic target date funds and ended up talking about the future of blockchain technology.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. And, beyond all the specific strategies and tactics they talked about, one of the biggest takeaways for me is this emphasis on mindset.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's not just about following a set of rules. It's about having the right attitude.
Exactly. It's about being open to new ideas, being willing to learn and adapt.
And not being afraid to take risks. Calculated risks, of course.
Exactly. Calculated risks. So really, it's about empowering ourselves to create the future we want.
Well said.
It's not just about financial freedom. It's about taking control of our lives and making our dreams a reality. So there you have it. We've unpacked this CEO's top money-making hacks, explored a whole bunch of strategies for building wealth. Now it's up to you to decide which ones resonate with you.
And take action.
Exactly. Knowledge is only powerful if you actually use it. So go out there and build something amazing. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive and you want more, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot more explorations coming your way. Thanks for joining us, and keep on learning.